So I know a lot of guys get into this, like almost obsessing about getting laid. And, we all trying to get laid when doing this. It's definitely part of it. It's not everything, but it's definitely part of it. And that's definitely something to embrace and not obviously shy away from. But I do know a lot of guys, and certainly I've seen it myself, where they're just getting a bit obsessed about it. It's kind of like the primary reason why they're doing it. It's just they just want to get laid. Fair enough. If it's the main reason, but I've seen it with so many guys where they just obsess about it, and the main reason is because they're just not getting laid. It's like they want it so much because they can't have it. It's like it's kind of like human nature in a way. It's like you want what you can't have, and if it's very, very difficult to obtain, then it makes you want it more, and it becomes kind of more valuable from your perspective. That kind of makes sense, and obviously from the girl's perspective, because sex is very abundant, it becomes less valuable, and there's other factors that she would typically value a lot more, such as that connection, or that sort of wholesomeness in a relationship, or whatever, something like that. But yeah, the problem with obsessing about getting laid is that it gives off a bit of a creepy vibe. A lot of guys don't realize it. It's like they're going into interactions, or they're interacting with girls, and she can just sort of sense this slight sense of creepiness, or over eagerness. It can manifest in other ways, such as desperation, being too keen, being too eager, being too available, that kind of thing. I've seen it as well where some guys just have a one-track mind. That's all they can think of. It's just like, oh, I'm really doing whatever I can to get laid, and then it doesn't happen, and then they get upset about it. It's just like a wrong mentality, really. It's not very sustainable anyway, because there's always going to be times where you're just not going to get laid. You're going to get close, but it's not going to happen. So you can't let that get you down. It's just part of the process. I know some guys who haven't had much luck, and then finally they get a girl, out on a date, things are progressing relatively well, and all of a sudden right at the end she's like, no, not happening, and then you never see her again. And then it's like, oh, I did all that work for nothing. Well, you shouldn't really see it like that, because think about what you did enjoy from that interaction. And that's why it's good to have that mentality where it's, obviously we all want to get laid, but it's not always just about getting laid. Because then, during the times when it doesn't happen, you're still okay with it. You're still like, okay, yeah, my life is still good. So yeah, it's just something to consider. The other thing, is that when you are obsessing about getting laid, as I said, it can give you that sort of creepy vibe, or that sense of needing to get something out of the interaction, which the girl might be able to pick up, because girls are very, very intuitive with these kinds of things, really. And then it just becomes a vicious circle. It's like you're so obsessed about getting laid that it's coming off in your interactions. It's rubbing off. The girl can sense it, is put off by it, things don't happen. It doesn't progress, it doesn't go all the way, and then it makes you want it more and more, and makes you obsess about it more and more, and it's still not happening. It just becomes a vicious circle. So that's the issue with that mentality. By all means, we're all trying to get laid, but just don't obsess about it. Just understand that sometimes it's just not going to happen, even when things are going really, really well, and just let go and be okay with it. The guys that genuinely get laid the most are the ones that don't give that much of a fuck about it. Now, I know that sounds somewhat sort of counterintuitive, but it's because they've manifested or they've got this mentality of abundance. They know that, oh, this one girl doesn't want to fuck me. Okay, cool. No worries. I'll just find another one who will. And they just move on to the next one. No big deal. That is the mentality to have, because it's way more sustainable. You're not going to be affected that much from during the times when it doesn't happen. And you'll just be a lot more level-headed that way. And you'll enjoy the process a lot more. And because you're genuinely enjoying it a lot more, you're more free, you're more loose, you're genuinely enjoying it, things are more likely to happen that way, because you're going to give off a better vibe, so it all goes hand in hand. So yeah, it's just don't obsess about any one thing in general. It's just not healthy practice. It will come off, it will manifest in some way, it will put people off, and it will affect your results, so to speak. So yeah, it's just a way to have it. It's just about having that mentality of I want it, but I don't need it. I'm already very happy in my life as it is. If I can get it, fantastic, great, let's do it. And if not, then okay, no worries. You know, I just move on. It's no big deal.
Thanks for watching. If you want to be able to do what you see me do in these videos, head over to my online course, which covers pretty much everything you need to know about day game to get to a good level and actually implement it in a manageable way. Link is in the description.